before we start the talking. I think we live now. I think so. Let's see. Yes. Looks like we live now. Yes, we are. So welcome. I don't see any viewers currently in the queue, but I'm sure you guys will fill in. And for you guys who will see this on the rebound, welcome to the latest episode of I was about to say Turbo Towel Tuesday. Welcome to the latest episode of the Sim Standard Podcast with myself, Smitty, and AzureEffect. Always here when he's able to get here, but right now, of course, here in spirit. Got a few things to talk about, guys, as you see there in the title. We definitely want to talk a little bit about the red. I'm not going to say their name. Might be offensive to some. And I'm saying that I'm not joking about it, but I know it's. I'll get into it. Let me say what I was about to say until we get to it. And we'll get to it in about 2 seconds. But we're going to talk about that team in Washington. Not only the talk of the name change, but some of this news that's trickling out about them. Very, very interesting. So we're going to talk about that. And we want to talk about Madden's latest Gridiron notes. You guys may have seen the video I already did, but, again, want to give you guys that experience with Smitty and myself commenting on these things. A lot of times when two people are talking, different thoughts come out. And we'll talk a little bit about the abilities. Now, I haven't looked at each and every one of them. I believe they're listed on Madden School. I haven't looked at them all, but there are a couple of them that are a little ridiculous. And, we'll give you our opinions on that as far as the way I'm going to go with it. It's an attempt to replicate what players do, but the things around the game prevents them from being all the way realistic. And I will explain that in a moment. But before we get started, Smitty, man, is there anything else you want to jump into first? Or, if you want to roll right into that Washington football team, we can do that. But how was your week, man? Everything good?
Yeah, man. Everything's good. Nothing new really popping off. We just go ahead and talk about them skins, man. Because real talk. I understand. I haven't been paying full attention to what's transpired as of recently about the situation, so I can't
Look at
really talk
Hollywood.
to it.
Hollywood, you might want to close your ears,
Yeah,
brother.
I know Hollywood. I know Hollywood's feeling that one, man. I know it hurt, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man DJ 81. Our fellow, our next door neighbor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
As
man.
the first and frame race crew doing their thing too. But yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough, and like Sim, but we was chatting a little bit before the show started because I haven't been able to keep up. I've been a bit busy with other things, so I haven't really been able to keep up with everything happening. But just from the little bit he told me, it's like yikes! Like, dang, this ain't as simple as just this isn't just a name change kind of
Mm,
situation and a tribal impact thing. There's levels and layers and all that to it that are like yikes.
yikes.
Everything is unraveling right now about this. So this is ugh. This is, I don't know if this is the kind of thing where you like, do we want to keep the team in the city? Just so that we can start talking about it a little bit. Like, do you want to keep the team in the city with all this stuff going on? Like, is it going to be a relocation kind of deal or what? Like, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Oof.
We'll see. But like I said, I'm gonna be leaning more on Sim on that one because I don't know as much. But from whatever is said, I'm going to piggyback off of. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I guess we could jump right on into it, man. Here's the interesting thing. And shout outs to I want to say his name is Dreamville SC or Dream something SC, I think, on Twitter. He had sent me a DM. Let me say this too, guys, because I think I need to say this. I say this a lot with the on the Steelers podcast. I'm horrible with Twitter DMs, man. I check them. Sometimes I don't, and when you're not following somebody or they're not following you, you get those requests, and you gotta. I'm gonna be honest. I miss a bunch, and to be honest and frank, a lot of times I don't even look at them. I'm just sorry. Forgive me. I happened to see his, but I wanted to say that at least because I didn't respond to it. I just saw it real quick. But he had sent me some of that information. I believe it was him. I could be wrong. But initially, Pat McAfee, if you guys probably know who that is, ex-kicker, he has a solid podcast. I love hearing his perspective. I like always hearing players' perspective on things. But anyway, he has a show. During the show, he gets this news about the skins. And it was so hot, it was burning him up to not say anything. But he said, listen, man, some of this stuff that they're talking about, I don't want to be the guy to report information that's incorrect. But apparently it was a source that he has that works very closely with the team. And he had the tea, as the women would say. My wife always says that. He had the tea. And, I mean, you could see it on his face. Like, they were talking about something else, and he literally was like the reaction was like, and he looked at his producers and was like, yo. So he also alluded to the fact that there was some on the field stuff, right? And then there was some other things circulating after I saw that where they were saying that there could be some information about them potentially paying off some refs, all kinds of stuff. So I'm expecting to hear that news when the Washington Post hit. Because that's what Pat McAfee was saying is like, apparently the Washington Post is writing this big thing. It's going to release very, very, very soon. Lo and behold, it came out later today. But that wasn't the news that I was expecting to hear. What was listed, or what the highlight reel is now, what you're seeing on ESPN and everything else, 15 female employees or ex-employees have allegations of sexual abuse or sexual assault and or abuse. And they're saying that it's staff members and guys in the inner circles of, like, close to the owner. Apparently at this point, Bruce Allen, I believe his name is, and Daniel Snyder fingers haven't been pointed at them directly. But a lot of the women are saying it's no way they didn't know the type of behavior that was going on, because it's more of a cultural, a cultural type of thing. The culture is just messed up. But all I'm going to say is, listen, when you start getting into those type of numbers, one person say something, could be interpretation, or it could be, they're trying to smear your name. We've seen this happen before. We've even seen it. All of us have seen situations where the woman comes back later and says, I lied, right? Two women say something, you raise an eyebrow up at it. And as y'all can see, got my Steelers stuff in the back. I'm not a homer, so I'm going to pick on somebody here, and y'all know what I'm talking about. When two women came out and said Ben Roethlisberger participated in some rapey type of things, I perked up. I was like, wait a minute, Ben. Two, I got to raise an eyebrow, because now we're getting into territory of it's possible. Because it's funny, my wife said it earlier, right? Earlier today, we were talking about the Redskins thing when she came home from work. And she was like, if it's one person, but if it's two, she said, it still might not be true, because you're always going to get that one person that's going to pile on. Like if they say, oh, they saying it, I'm going to say it too. But you have to pay attention. But when they get beyond that, when you get into 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's some smoke somewhere. So 15, and we're not talking about just 15 women. These are 15 women who were apparently in the organization. So think about that, guys, and girls who might be listening. You at your job and 15 people at your job say, hey, man, some stuff going on. You might have to pay attention to that very, very, very closely. The likelihood of 15 people just piling on. So anyway, here's what the question, Smitty in chat. What else are we going to hear? Because again, earlier today when I watched the Pat McAfee stuff, he said it was a laundry list of things, but he kept saying, look, not only just, off the field, there's some on the field things that's going to come out. They didn't say anything about that. The first piece of news that we're hearing is about the sexual things or, verbal abuse, et cetera, et cetera. Another thing that's sad for you Steelers fans, apparently one of the guys who got fired and one of the guys who are being accused is they're calling him Richard Mann II. Couple sources that I have I don't know if it's all the way true, but a few sources that I have said that's Richard Mann's son. Steeler fans would know who Richard Mann was and what he meant to us as a, on our coaching staff. I mean, he was the man. And very sad to hear that. If, I mean, again, I wouldn't say that, that reflects on him, even though it's his son. It's just, that's sad news. But anyway, so there you have it, Smitty. Of course, we'll talk about the name change and all, but I guess my question would be, how does this affect the team itself and or the NFL, like at this point? Like, being that we're already in a crazy situation with COVID and all that, and I didn't even know this. I wasn't really paying attention. Up through what, July the 10th, 72 players had tested positive?
Yeah.
Whoa. So we already dealing with that. So now, what are your thoughts, man? And outside of the name change, how does this affect that Washington football squad?
I mean, it's I don't know, man. It's just complete chaos. I mean,
Yeah, that's bad.
this is not. I'm trying to think of how to word this, but it's like we're in an era in time where it comes to social media, if the slightest nudge or scuff on the shoe, quote unquote, so to speak, that happens is, I can't believe they were doing that. Case in point, you look at the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s. They was balling, right?
Jerry got pictures of his own out there too now.
You know what I'm saying?
Jerry Jones.
They was balling, but at the same time, these dudes, they had a house. I mean, it was part of their biography. You didn't see people just rain down on them like, oh my gosh, we should strip them of their championships. No, it was like, yeah, these dudes was partying like
Cocaine Cowboys.
they had the house where they did all the partying, all the women, all the drugs and everything. But they was winning. That's the whole thing. They was winning. So it's like you had all that going on. You take a team like that now, with how social media is and all the sensitivity, as sensitive as folk are now, that team, the Cowboys, would be dismantled. They would be dismantled. There's no way that team would have been together. That would have been completely dismantled. Because just off of the levity of what transpired, like, you guys got a house where y'all doing all this stuff, and you got women coming forward and all that. Oh no, But when you look at this and you see, and I mean, I'm not making light of anything that's going on. I'm just saying, like, it's where we're at now with this, and it's a real jacked up situation, because you've had the whole name change thing going on for a while. That's been going on for a minute now. But to go further as to, you got all kinds of situational innuendo, whatever it is you want to label it or name it, going on internally amongst all of this going on too. Man,
Something
that's
just dawned
crazy
on me.
So what's up?
And if I remember correctly, they said from 2006 through 19, I think. Somebody in the chat correct me on that. The reason why I said that, and it just dawned on me, I know a Redskin cheerleader from around that time. Yeah, I know her. Like, I personally know her. Let me see what I might be able to find out. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say she was still a cheerleader. I'm gonna have to check my sources, man. But long story short, in case you guys are wondering, lot of you guys know I grew up in Richmond, Virginia, right? And somebody that I know is a Redskin cheerleader is from Richmond. She was a cheerleader. Pretty girl, right? She was a cheerleader. I can't remember when she stopped, but I want to say 2006, around that time, she was still a cheerleader. If that is the case, I might have a way to find out if, yo, when you was there, did you ever see? So it just dawned on me, so I had to say it out loud because I was like, wait a minute. But yeah, wow. Go ahead, Smitty, my bad.
Yeah, no, you good. And yo, just real quick, shout out to True Sim Gamer, man. Shout out to my mans. You
Oh,
know what I'm
man.
saying?
I ain't
He
seen
was
him in a
rocking,
minute.
you know what I'm saying? Sim Standard member from back then. You know what I mean? Oh man. So it's been a long while since he's, I've seen him about. But shout out to him, man, coming through. I see him tweet a little bit. He's commented on some videos of mine recently. Well, streams, I should say, commented on. But yo, big up to him, man. What's happening?
I'm about
Glad
to
to see
text
you
my
here.
brother right now. 'Cause he would
Yeah.
know. He would probably know
But
if she was still a cheerleader. I think she was, though.
yeah, but yeah, no, it's just it's a crazy situation. I mean, there's nothing good gonna come out of it at the end of the day. I don't know how a situation like this would honestly be approached. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this is on an NFL. This is NFL level now. This isn't college. We've seen what happened with college. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know what's going to happen. How's it going to be handled on this level? Because of the people that are involved in it. I don't know if they name names or not. Sim.
As
have they
far
named names?
as
As far as who took the actions against the women and stuff. Like they ain't say
I'm
that,
not.
right?
Yeah, I think in the article, just speaking about the allegations, the texts
Yeah,
and
yeah.
whatever. There's a couple guys. Like one of them is one of their radio personalities. Larry,
Okay.
somebody. The Richard Man, the second guy.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
another guy. He has a Spanish name, but I can't remember his name now. That's
All
about
right.
all I know. But what's interesting though, because I saw somebody. What made me think about the cheerleader thing is I saw somebody in here in the chat say, "Oh, J Hard RIC." He said, you know, cheerleaders pimping out. Well, maybe he didn't say it,
No,
but one
pimping
of
out the cheerleaders
yeah.
is kind of far.
Because look, here's the thing, Smitty. That was what I saw earlier on Twitter, where again after I saw the Pat McAfee thing, all of this other stuff came out saying what they were hearing, quote unquote, was the
Yeah.
pimping out of the cheerleaders and naked photos, and apparently they saying that when Gruden was there, him and Snyder like partaking in these activities together, like it was a real
Oh
culture.
man. So it was
But
like, oh wow.
so
See,
again, I was expecting the article, and
that
maybe it does. Maybe the article says all this. I haven't read it, but the biggest story that came out is the sexual abuse and
yeah.
allegations.
No, right.
But if any of that other stuff is true,
And
boy,
I mean,
boy,
there's things that people did that have not came to look. I see, because see, the reason why I was asking is because it's gonna come down to people. You got people with juice in the game that are in this.
yep.
So it's like, what happens when you got people with juice that get pulled into this kind of stuff? What's gonna happen? We ain't talking about somebody that's a has-been or somebody that used to be known like way back when, or 70s and 80s they were known as this, and then but they've been done and they're just a figurehead, in the NFL, and then they get in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
You saw what Kia said. I
What
just
can you
seen
say
that.
now?
He
Oh, the
said,
you during the Uncle Luke era?
"Oh my God!
Yeah,
Don't
that was
stop! Pop that! Pop that!" Oh my God, guys! Don't get me
but
started, man.
yeah, shoot. Hey, look, if you haven't, I'm pretty sure everybody in here has seen it, but if you have not seen it, watch that 30 for 30 on the U. That was a great documentary. That was great right there,
Yeah,
man.
some wild
That
stuff,
was
boy.
epic. I mean, it wasn't just the wild stuff. It was just, I mean, it wasn't just the wild stuff. It was just, I mean, it wasn't just the wild stuff. It was just, I mean, it wasn't just the wild stuff. It was 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 just the wi that that's one reason why. That, to be quite honest, that's why. Just sidebarring for a moment, but that's why. That's when I used to give a care about college football
Yeah.
because the intrigue was there way more than it is now. And I mean, I understand their system has not changed necessarily, um, to a certain degree, but it's like the game just it's just not the same, man. It's just not the same. Like the U is not the U no more. Just like U of M was this renowned school. They're known for their history, but they're not. It's not the U. Just like Florida and Florida State. Those teams. I mean, like I said, they're not slouches, but I would say earlier 2090s, earlier 2000s, those were like the houses. Like they were, they it like it was rough. You would think they're NFL caliber teams that they had
Bruh.
because it was like that
They
back then.
did.
That's my point.
Go through
Like
them rosters.
they were that dang on good that
Man.
it felt like that, and it was like the classes that kept coming in, class after class after class. It just didn't stop. So that's why I miss it. I miss college football where it was like that, where you just said it wasn't just now it's just Bama. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but you had several teams like that were that deal, and you had other teams that were good that had that rep. So that's but I'm sorry, just getting
Nah,
sidebarred off.
nah.
He has said, but that's but the main thing it's gonna come down to is what happened. What's gonna happen to people that got juice when it comes to this kind of situation? Are these people going to get hit tremendously hard, or is it just going to be kind of a slap on the wrist kind of deal? I mean, I know Gruden's not the coach no more. I understand, but it's like I don't know. I mean, because you got to also understand, John Gruden has the rep that he has too. Saying so, it's like you're tugging on that name. That's just like if the Mannings did something silly or whatever like that. If somebody pulls some up on Archie, they're gonna be like, "Oh, wait a minute now." Peyton and you got Peyton and Eli. Hey man, they've been upstanding guys. You can't rain on that name. You know what I mean? Like there will be some kind of we're gonna put an umbrella and protect. That's what I'm saying. Is this gonna be somewhat of a situation like that where they're gonna be trying to protect these people from getting rained on, or is it gonna be is it going to be these people or the franchise? The crazy part about this is that the franchise is already in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So it's already in shambles right now. So it's bad enough your team was underperforming. It's even worse that now you got all this scrutiny because of the team and the name and all that stuff. But then you got the triple whammy with the scandals
Mm.
coming to light. So you got all this stuff in the light. I'd hate to be a PR person for that for them. I'd be like, man, I quit because they ain't no coming back. This it's just like what y'all just take just TYC take all the charges. Just take the charge. Take your charge and call it a day and just start over. I think that's honestly what you should do. It's too wide open in this day and age with the media. That's the problem. If some stuff was in the dark and hard to prove, that's where they may have a little bit of wiggle room. But with the way it is now, they just go ahead, just let it go. Take the L's. Yep, that happened. Yep, this happened. NFL, come on in, do what y'all need to do, man, because everything is just all over the place. So yep, just do it.
Mm.
There's no point in fighting. There's no point in fighting it. Just take the L, take the L's. Whoever needs to take the charges, take your charges, and call it a day, man. Call it a day. He said Snyder may be selling the team. See, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like they may not even be in that state anymore. Like That
Yeah.
may honestly be the best move.
Skins fans should be happy about that.
It's,
Snyder,
I
man, it's
mean,
been terrible since Snyder been there.
they may have to let it go. But you know what? You know what? The thing that sucks though, when it'll be something where it'll be like you're happy that they're gone for the moment,
Right.
but when you ultimately look at it and say, "Dang, we ain't got a team now," then you're gonna be looking and say, "I mean, I know we
Oh
suck, but
no,
we could
not
have."
leave. Just the selling. The
Oh,
owner.
get
Get
rid
the
of.
owner. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you
yeah.
mean get the switch the ownership
Yeah,
up?
get him out of
Oh,
there. Yep.
okay. But that's the other thing. But that's the thing about it though. If the team is sold to somebody else, what if they say they don't want it in DC? And then they want to go ahead and relocate. That's my point. Is that I'm sorry, y'all. That's what I'm getting at. They may have another vision. You know what I'm saying? Because they could easily say, "Oh, I want to get rid of them and move them here." That's just like with the Pistons. Even though yes, they stayed in Michigan, but I hate the fact they moved them downtown Detroit. I didn't want them at Little Caesars. You know what I'm saying? They were good right out there at the Palace, which they wrecked not too long ago, and that really hurt my heart, man, because I was there during that championship run, and I was there for games, when that both of those title runs, 04 and 05, where they could have sealed it. They could have won it against San Antonio, and I went there to many games during college because it was 10 minutes away from the campus. So I went to a lot of Pistons games. But the thing is that, when you see, I mean, they relocated them to downtown Detroit, but I don't want it to be a case where, and especially for people, the Washington D.C. fans, I don't want to see it be a case where they'll mess around and take the team and just get rid of them and take them out altogether and just be over and done with, wash their hands clean of it, and just say, well, we're gonna move the team to, I don't know, wherever, what others,
move them to Richmond.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. The capital city, Richmond, Virginia, would embrace, because that's where they do their training camp stuff now. It's been in the last few years. Man, the city of Richmond would lose their mind. Like, it's Reds. I'll just say it, whatever. I don't mean it, no offense. Redskin fans are ballistic out there. Small city, though. And, I don't know if it's a capital city, but even though it's my hometown, I don't know if it could generate. Well, I say that now, but let's think about this for a minute. You would still get the people from Northern Virginia. You would still get the people from D.C. You would still get the people in here in the chat who are from, I see some of them actually from Richmond. They'll understand this terminology. You'll get all the Hampton Roads. You'll get all the Tidewater, the beach, Norfolk. It might could support it. It's possible. But yeah, do that. Go ahead and do that. Give them a new home. But yeah, that could be interesting. Like Smitty said, man. I mean, you don't want to take a team from. It's almost like how I look at the whole Raiders thing. What them people in Oakland do to deserve that, man? Your team, I mean, here they going bad enough. If you live in Oakland and got to drive to a certain part of California, it's a pretty long drive. But y'all moving to Nevada, Vegas, come on, man. Some people will never get to see their team again. Nope. So I hate to do that, but yeah, that'd be a nice little landing spot for them. Bring some notoriety to Richmond. That'd be dope. That'd be dope for those folks. I'm not a Skins fan. I'm sorry. I've been Pittsburgh since I was born. I don't know why. Got pictures of me in the Steelers jerseys when I'm 3-4 years old. But that'd be nice for home city, man. I would approve of that. And it would be dope if that happened, and when we actually played them, I'd drive on down there, check a game out. But anyway, man, that's just me talking. Oh, yeah, Hollywood? Hollywood said, I didn't know that, man. I had no idea you was from Virginia. And you know what? Same thing with me. Most people they don't know that. Obviously, I mean, how would you unless I told you? But people always be like, what? You're from Virginia? I'm like, yeah. Long story short, guys, born and raised there. I was one of those people that I didn't stay home. I went out and enjoyed myself and lived in the world. I lived in Atlanta for a little while. That's when I was doing other things. settled up shop in the Maryland, D.C. area, like right there on the D.C. line. I lived out in Silver Spring, which for anybody who's familiar with the DMV, y'all know what that's about. Stayed there for a good amount of time. Met my wife, got married. We ended up moving to Pennsylvania, and I've been here for quite some time now. So this is now home, right? Got closer to my Steelers. But that's it. That's my life story. It's my life story. But yeah, what you got, Smitty? Anything else before we move on?
Nah, that's all I got, man.
Yeah, man, it's a tough situation, and like I said, we'll have to wait. And I respect Pat McAfee a lot for what he did today. Let me just say that as a sidebar. It's kind of how I'm gonna be 100% real and honest with y'all tonight. When you are I guess public figure, I don't know if you consider. I mean, he was a ball player. He's a little different. But let's use somebody like IMAV or Anto or maybe somebody like Eric Rayweather. Do you consider them public speakers? Or, I mean, not speakers, but public figures? I guess, because some people have literally. I mean, listen. Sidebar. I was at EA one time, and IMAV and Anto and K Spade, we were all there at the same time. We walking through the lobby. There's some young kids in there. I mean, they probably like 10, 11 years old. When they saw Anto the boss, let me tell you something. They lost their mind, right? They come running over. Oh, Anto, da-da-da-da-da. They go back. You see their parents over there, and their parents kind of looking like, what's up? And, you can tell the kids are pointing, saying, so their parents was like, okay, go ahead. They come back. Then they saw IMAV. They was like, oh, IMAV, da-da-da. Right? So I'm sitting there tripping, like I'm embracing it because I'm like, that's dope. Like, these dudes are famous to these kids. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess you could say they're kind of, it actually, in sidebar, it actually happened to me slightly the first time I went to EA play. I'm walking through the crowd and people like, yo, that's SimFBallCritic. I was like, what? I'm nobody. You know what I mean? I'm not even a huge channel. But to some people, they are connected to you because they see you or whatever. So I forgot my original point, Smitty. What was I saying? See, I watch too much Joe Budden. See, y'all know who watch the Joe Budden podcast. He do that all the time. Forgets his thoughts. See, it's rubbing off on me. I don't even know why I went down that road. What? Do anybody?
I don't know what.
Can somebody help us? What was I talking about?
Exactly what. That's all. I was just listening. Like, okay, like I'm waiting to see what the key thing.
Where was he? Where was we going? What we say before I did that? See, guys, this is live. That's why we do this thing live. We have no shame. And what was I talking about, folks? Somebody please help me out. What did Smitty say?
Well, you talked about the Raiders. You asked me if there was anything else I wanted to say, and then you started talking about the point. You made the point about the Raiders moving to Vegas.
Public figures. What was I saying about public figures? Oh, thank you. See, my man's 6'5". 65 South.
Pat McAfee. Okay.
All right. So this is what I was trying to say. See, sometimes you go all the way around the barn, get back to the door. You don't even know what you went around there for. What I was trying to say was, as public figures, YouTube personalities, reporters, et cetera, a lot of times people try to be first. I have fell into that trap a little bit, where some news come out, I'm making a video right away, boom, trying to put it out before anybody. And then I was like, why? I have gotten more enjoyment out of me just giving y'all who I really am. Like, sometimes dissecting what's happening, then I give y'all the information. I ain't got to be the first one to make the video about ratings or the Gridiron notes. Now, sometimes I seem to be able to make videos quick because I work from home. So a lot of times I'm just chilling. I'm like, I'm going to get my thoughts on that and I'll do it really quick. But y'all have also seen me wait until the next 2-3 days to do it. And my point is, where I respect Pat McAfee is he held on to that. Right? He had a lot of this information, and not only did he hold on to that, he respected his source. See what I'm like, and see, this is what I tell you guys sometimes too. When I have information that I can't share, even at EA, and I'm like, y'all gotta respect that. Come on, man. It's like people that I talk to, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I respect the fact that he was like, I ain't gonna be the one to put none of this out until it's out.
Until it's out there. Yep.
And that's I respect that, man. I had to say that because boy, was and he was sitting on this information and he could have spilled it, and now it's starting to come out on its own, so sad situation, man. It's gonna be interesting, like Smitty said, to see how far up the food chain it goes and what happens to those people who are far up the food chain. Cause if some of that stuff that we saw circulating on Twitter is true, with the paying off of the refs and naked pictures, and boy, my question to them about the refs, I gotta throw a joke in here. Y'all must won't paying them well, cause I'm just saying. Sorry, Hollywood, and anybody else who might be a Skins fan. I mean, y'all must won't doing a good job, because it ain't help y'all get no wins. I mean, y'all better get that money back. Matter of fact, if that come out, I suggest suing them, because they didn't live up to their bargain. But anyway, man. Madden. I mean, I know we're all tired of talking about it. In theory. I'm not gonna say so much, because again, I like to have Smitty on when I know we both are kind of thinking the same thing, and when I may have made a video about something and you guys haven't really heard Smitty's, perspective. So I want to give him the floor mostly, but I'll just give you a small piece of what I'm gonna talk about in terms of the Gridiron notes. The most recent Gridiron notes came out, man, and they talked about the playbooks and they went into depth as far as the AI, and I'm looking at it now. Let me see, was there anything else that jumped off? The defensive adjustments to offensive motion, things like that, tuning the pass coverage, blah, blah, blah. And I'll spend 2 seconds here. Playbooks is just like I said in my video. In case some of you guys saw it, I'll probably be repeating myself. I don't care so much about playbooks from this perspective. You always hear people say they want more formations and more this, more that, and I feel like sometimes, and I'm not picking on any particular crowd, because I see it in our world, I see it in the comp world, et cetera, et cetera. I think sometimes people allow their video game mentality to take over. Nothing wrong with that. It is a video game. But some of the stuff that you see people asking for when it comes to playbooks, I'm like, well, that's not even real. Like, that's... And my perspective has always been, I don't even like custom playbooks. I had this conversation with A-Dub all the time. And I won't share with you guys his feelings about it. But I don't like them, because I'm that much of a sim Nazi, like, in my mind. Like, I'm trying to replicate everything. Y'all see it when I do my Madden videos, like my offline franchise. I try to match everything up. It's just me being a nut about it, right? So I would prefer that the playbooks are authentic. Not so much how many additional plays and wacky formations. As long as it's authentic to what they do in the real world, you got me. I'm on board. But as far as, I see people say this a lot, and I know NY Kid, please chime in here. We always see people say it ain't enough defensive plays. And the reality, or they'll say this, the playbooks are too similar. But guys, on defense, there ain't but so many coverages in the NFL. There is a lot of similarities in defenses, across the board. What is different is maybe the way you run it, technique, alignment, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if that's the stuff you're talking about, I'm right there on board with you. But when you go through an NFL playbook, I mean, I've even heard it from guys like A-Dub that has access to these things. A lot of teams run cover 3, cover 2, cover 6, cover 4, palms, cover 3 match. It's pretty basic stuff, but then you get into alignment and how they run it and blah, blah, blah. Seattle ran their cover 3 a lot different than some other teams did back in the Legion of Boom days. But my point is, you're not gonna get me to comment too much about play. Just make it authentic. If this is the Steelers playbook, this is the Lions playbook, this is the Titans playbook, I'm good. You get no argument from me. I mean, I'm cool. Last little thing I would say, then I'll throw it to Smitty, and I know this is where Smitty is gonna go as well. I'm still a little concerned about this adaptive AI because I didn't see or hear any focus pertaining to the defense. If anybody was interested in knowing what I refer to every time you hear me say adaptive AI, well, I want to see a situation where it's not just the quarterback coming to the line. This stuff sounds good. Don't get me wrong. And Smitty will probably speak on this as well. You saw some of this in the beta, playing those different quarterbacks. You definitely felt like they were smarter. Lamar would take off on you if you cover holes up in the defense. He was out. No question. Brady made quick reads. Mahomes would look for the deep shot. I felt like they were countering things I was doing. Excuse me. On purpose, I was calling some of the same defenses to see if I would get an audible because they had talked about that. I saw it. They play a lot smarter, folks. But what about across the board? Why? I mean, can my cornerback start adjusting to the game as well? And I know it might be a hard thing to do, but again, can we start introducing that type of adaptive AI? And if he's wrong, he's wrong. But what about a cornerback that has, now, maybe we could tie it to ratings. He's smart enough to be like, wait a minute. They keep running this quick slant on 3rd and 4. They keep doing it. I'm going to cheat inside a little bit. I'm still going to play my responsibility, but my first look is going to be inside. I want to see stuff like that for those elite players. And I still don't think that's there, man. I don't. And that's my biggest beef with all of this. This sounds cute. Smitty would remember this. Remember Real QB? They already had introduced this type of thing some years ago where the QB is supposed to be smart
and they're supposed to be
And I get it. If you're rehashing it and bringing it back and it's perfected now, great. But what about the rest of the fit or the other side of the ball? Because you got a little piece of it with the offensive lineman. So what about on defense? Come on, man. But I don't know. I'm not expecting them to do so much on this current generation, and that's not giving them a pass. I just don't. I think, man, the powers that be have allowed as much as they're going to allow on the current generation, and the devs are trying to get creative with the time that they do have, and they just can't get to everything. Because by now, we should have been had this.
Yeah, this should have been happened. This is not something new. The playbook stuff. That should have been happened.
Come on,
this
man.
is literally what's in NBA 2K. Like they've had this for a mighty long time. And I said that last year when they did the title update, and it was like, Eureka! Now we can update playbooks during the course of the year via title update. It's like, but 2K's been doing this for the longest time. Czar would be doing his own personal live streams showing like, oh yeah, we updated the plays, we got in contact with the coaches and this is what they're doing currently. So, we put this in. Really? And understand this too. Remember when they implemented the series and stuff? I think this was 2K18 or 19. And they said, no, I think it was 2K18, if I'm not mistaken. No, it was 19. They implemented it in. And Zara was like, we're going to be updating these series over the course. Like, there's room for us to update. So when we see teams, as we analyze it, if we see teams running certain formations and certain, whatever they're running, we're going to be able to dynamically update it accordingly. It may not necessarily, like, some things will be a title update, but there also we'll just be doing some tuning. Like we could do it in a tuner and we can add it in. And it's like 2K has gotten to that level where it's intricate. them doing the updates now. Now it's not this big thing where it's like, hey, we're able to do a general update. Look at this new play we added. It's like 2K already added the series. They just added, well, we got several more wrinkles to add in on that series that we added into the game when it shipped.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Okay. And see, this is what I'm saying. Like, if you look at the article, I'm sorry, just switching back to EA here, and understand, guys, where Sim and I are talking from, we're not really pushing this on this, unfortunately. And this is because of EA and how they chose to move. We should be emphasizing this on this generation now.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we're saying this is more about the next gen now, again. And
And this should have been done. Like I want
yeah,
to jump
like,
in real quick and
go
see what
ahead. No, go
Brooklyn
ahead,
Bully
Sim.
said. Yes, everything that we talk about. Listen, if NBA 2K has evolved the way they have, MLB The Show, these are
Yup,
primarily the two games most people talk about as far as pure simulations. We leave out soccer because a lot of us don't know the rules of soccer. We just like
right.
how the players interact. If those games were able to do what they did on this generation, there's no reason why Madden could not have moved in the same fashion. No reason other than the fact that nobody at the top cared, man. That's just how I feel. Fixed franchise, fixed Madden franchise has showed us. If y'all don't believe by now what Smitty and I tell y'all every week, where it's above the devs, bruh, that should show you right there. It's about the people way up there looking down and saying what's important for us to focus on. No excuse, man.
Right.
It could have been
Nope.
done, and we got to keep saying. And let me clarify what I said about next generation. What I mean is, those same people, I don't think they're gonna waste any more energy on this current generation. If we are to see any real change, it will have to come from next level, as they're calling it.
I
Just
mean,
the
you got
same way we thought Ignite was gonna be. It's the same situation
right,
again, like Smitty
right.
alluded to before. That's the only way it's gonna happen is if they finally decide, let's make this mega game.
Yep.
So that's
And
it, man.
it's pretty much a wrap on this generation because, like, I saw on Twitter, Microsoft they stopped all production of Xbox Ones and Xbox One X's because they're focusing. Their complete shift is all the way over, and that's from the console standpoint. Microsoft's done, and they're completely focusing in on the next gen stuff now. So it's like, that's going to be EA. They're going to be shifting that focus. Like you may get one, maybe two more Maddens that'll be on this generation here. And other than that, since the game is going to be backwards compatible anyways on that next gen, like it's like they may just grandfather it out and just be like, well, if you don't get it on this gen here, you're just not going to have it. You know what I mean? Which you're not really losing. See, that's the only way. If EA is going to incentivize people to want to get the game on next gen, at least initially, you got to make the game great. And that's like what Sim is saying. I agree with that. Don't be surprised if you see this next this the optimized version of Madden actually uh see, if you see a gameplay, if you see a game that plays much better, AI is much better, has a bit more features in it, heck, franchise mode might even have a few touches as well. You know what I'm saying? Just to try and get the numbers. I know more likely it's not, but but that's what it may mess around and do. It may mess around and do something along that line out the gate at first. So don't be surprised, in that regard. But the main thing I'm getting at here, with when you look at Madden and looking at the article, guys, the problem here, playbook updates, I'm with Sim on that. I understand adding a few exotic plays, but those exotic plays got to be plays that do not work often. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't be arcade like in function unless you play in arcade or comp mode because people that play those mode settings like absolution. So, there's one thing with that. But it's like the only thing you got with defense is their alignment when the offense goes into motion. So all the AI problems, all
I do like that
the
though, by the way.
the defense. I mean, that's cool, but it's like,
If AI ain't there,
like
what's the
it's
use?
like the secondary. If dudes is covering grass, but hey, they picked up with how they moved in motion.
Right.
eh,
Means
if
nothing.
if if dudes in the secondary drop back 15, 20 yards, excuse me, safeties are drop back 15, 20 yards because my zone said I'm supposed to go all the way back here, even though the action is way up there. But I'm gonna go all the way back here anyway because the play art said I'm supposed to go back there. No, then what? This is a wash. See, you can't have the offense and then the defense just sit there and be null and void. That's the problem that I had when I was playing the beta. I loved playing it. And listen, all Madden felt good. I had to check the settings just to make sure it did it revert back to all pro or something like that? Because I'm like, I'm getting pressure at times. If I'm not going up, the offensive line, if it's not a good O line, all that, I'm getting pressure. I'm getting to the QB. Tom Brady's playing sharp. Matt Ryan was playing sharp. Did I get sacks at times? Yeah, I still got sacks. But they were making smart decisions. And it's like, yo, but could we get that on the defense? You know what I'm saying? Could we see how D linemen, like, I would love to see offensive and defensive linemen play each other. Like, you got a chess match within a chess match. You know what I'm saying? Is one guy better at steering a defender toward the inside, or is he better at steering them toward the outside? And depending upon what side you attack, as a defender, that all matters. You know what I mean? Like just across the board. Like if you made all of it matter, that would be outstanding. So okay. So the thing is that you know, I can't give them those props. And it's like, once again, we waiting to see what that like that's what I'm saying. What I'm talking about is a next gen thing because we don't have anything here. Like look at all the stuff that's talked about. AI play calling and clock management. They're talking about on offense. Adaptive AI and quarterback updates. Once again, offense. Ball carrier updates, offense. That was it. The only thing that was defensive was about them adjusting with the alignments. Now, is that something? Yeah, but it's like that ain't that's nothing. You know what I'm saying? All the years of going in on man, this secondary play, man, it needs to be more organic. Man, players need to be diagnosing. Man, I don't want to see like what Sim says all the time. Players should be diagnosing and reading and reacting. Last week, we had, there was somebody in the chat that was mentioning, they're making a lot of points about NBA 2K, but I was going back and forth with them and Sim was too a little bit. But the key thing the key point they're making when it comes to having adaptive AI and having players feel different, it's like that's the whole point. You can't control everybody. So players should feel like themselves, play like themselves,
Yeah.
and be able to make plays accordingly based off of what's going on the field. That's like the ACE system. That's what should happen. I'm pretty sure, and I mean, I didn't get MLB The Show 20, but I'm pretty sure they have it in MLB The Show where, depending upon who the batter is and how they've been performing, they're going to either shrink the field or they're going to expand it out and say, yo, hey, Guys, get back. This dude's a slugger. He may try to go for the fences here. So let's you know what I mean?
I might pick that game up
Let's
soon. I might.
you're like let's strategically align based off of what this person you know what I'm saying? Or you're it's the bottom of the ninth and your team is up and you're up there on the mound pitching. They're gonna be like, hey yo, we making some substitutions in the lineup here. We're gonna get some hard hitters, you know what I'm saying, that we didn't bring in the game, and we're gonna bring one or two of them hard hitters in, and we're gonna try and generate some offense. That that's stuff that MLB will do. Or they got somebody on base. Hey, we're gonna sub that guy out right there, and we're gonna put this guy in that's faster at running the bases in here. Maybe we could get a base. Not he could possibly turn two. You see what I'm saying? Like they do that kind of stuff. Why is it that see the problem? And that's like once again, when it comes to developing Madden, that's part of the problem because you have a crowd of people that want where everybody's supposed to user everybody. No. You should have players feeling like individual selves because you can't account for everyone. You can't stop everything. You'll mess around and be pulled yourself out of position by accident because the AI is trying to potentially get to the location and make a play, but you switching over and trying to take over. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, is your defense or offense that competent in the first place? Man, how come my wide receiver didn't see that there was a DB there, the safety there, and run into this open area? He had all that open field. Do you see him doing that on a regular basis? Well, no, but okay. You know what I'm saying? Like we should see players, there should be a level of adaptivity when it comes to what these players are capable of doing on the field. The sad part is while you didn't have adaptive AI, so to speak, you didn't have adaptive AI on PS2 and Xbox. But what you did have is if your quarterback was in trouble, or especially, and this is one thing that I despise it in Madden now. Receivers stop running routes. I mean, they stop. They won't do anything else as soon as they run their route. They'll just sit there and just wait on you. They ran routes on PS2. They kept running. I think the only time they didn't run was when you ran like if they were ran curl routes. If I'm mistaken, correct me. But I think it was like if they ran a curl and they just stood there and waited and you didn't do anything, I think they just stood there for the most part. Like they won't move at all. But everybody else, every other route, they'll run it to the sideline, then they'll run it toward the middle of the field. They do all of that. They try their best to run themselves open. So it's like it's not adaptive AI, but at the same time, you see your players, your teammates trying to make sharper decisions on the field. And we don't have any of that stuff happening in Madden. You see what I'm saying? Better capable consoles, more processing power, all that jazz, just like the stuff they're talking about now. But it's like EA takes no advantage of it. And then we got this game coming out on next gen where we're supposedly going to see next level and everything, which we were supposed to get on this generation, and we were supposed to get generation before.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and they're focusing on two games. That's why I'm not going to let up on them. They are specifically promoting this for FIFA 21 and Madden 21, which means you're telling us that game. You're not saying, because if I remember correctly, way back when with the Ignite situation, they were saying that about all of their products. This is the new Ignite engine. And all of the games got a little piece of, but it seems like they are heavily focusing on next level will be FIFA and Madden 21. And that's why I'm on their head. I'm on their head when it comes to that. And like I told you guys, And actually, I'll wait till Smitty gets back to say this other part. But I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna go out on a limb, man. I'm gonna walk on that ledge on my own. And I'll say it again when Smitty comes back. I have a feeling that things are going to be different. I have a feeling. And I want to keep saying that because if I'm right about it, I want all of y'all to come back and say, man, Sim called it. And let me tell you something. I don't know anything. I haven't been to EA. Right? There's no NDA or nothing like that for the next gen. I just have a feeling because of how certain people are talking that I talk to. You know, of course, nobody's saying anything, but it's kind of a vibe. And also, when I emphasize to certain people, Andrew Wilson can't afford another one of those moments. The vibe that they kind of throw back at me is like, yeah, they know. I'm like, that's an interesting reply. That's saying something without saying too much. But I'm going to be just as, shocked, disappointed, or happy as you guys will be. I'm just saying. Something feels different about this, man. And that's the reason why, side note, that's the reason why y'all keep hearing me say I'm going heavy at them about next level this year. Because of what I believe to be true, because of what the vibe that I'm feeling. And if it ain't, if it's nowhere close to what's advertised, the slander is going to be real, brother. They'll get a real piece of my mind. And I'm going to go right at Andrew Wilson. That's going to be where I aim my disdain, if you will. Let's go right at him. And I'm going to be beyond vocal about it because, again, at the end of the day, y'all always hear me say this. These are video games, whatever. But we consumers at the end of the day. Yes, have I had to physically buy Madden in a long time? No, I haven't. But I'm still a consumer, meaning that I play your product and I expect your product to be better. And I represent everyone in this chat. Those of you that are at the side of it that has to buy the game and decide whether you want to or not. That's who I always speak for. Each and every time I've ever gone down to EA, that's who I spoke for. Of course, myself. But I carry all of y'all on my back. That's what me, Smitty, and Azure has always stood for. The community. We ain't coming in there just being happy to be here and, I'm so excited. No. Ain't never been like that. Ask Swami. Swami will tell you. Swami been there with me before when he was just in the program and as a dev. We don't be playing no games when we down there. We don't. I will say this too, just to throw y'all another bone. Yeah. It's some people that's gone down with us that's been silent as a mouse. Mute. And that's just how it is. Everybody in the program with Game Changer, whatever you want to call it, everybody ain't the same. And I'm putting that out there. I ain't breaking no rules by saying that. It's some dudes that don't say nothing. Some of them cats was just happy to be there. That won't us. And that ain't us. We would say the same thing to the biggest person that we could talk to as far as the food chain that we could speak to. We talking to them. Y'all remember Cam Weber? First time I got a chance to talk to Cam Weber, I'm right in his face. Smitty will tell you, Smitty was right there. That was before the DB and Wideout interactions were what they are now. See the quote fingers? And I said, by the way, we read your resume. You was an ex-quarterback in college or whatever. You should know better than anybody else. We ain't got no DB and Wideout interactions in this game. Come on, man. What's up with that? Now, again, before I knew Clint is just at the dev level. I know a lot of things stopped with them. First time I met Clint, first thing I did was look up. He's a big boy. Let me tell you. Said the same thing to him, like, yo, man, you know what's supposed to be on the O-line more than anybody. You played the position. So I say all that to say, man, I got a feeling, man, something's going to be different this time. And if it's not, oh, boy, the slander, boy, that first show that me and Smitty do after that, Andrew Wilson, you better guard your grill because we coming. We coming. But I have a small feeling, guys, and again, I'm walking on that ledge by myself. I got a feeling it's actually going to be what they're advertising. Because like I said, once again, just so Smitty can hear this, nobody has told me a thing. And obviously they can't. Right? But everybody that I've tried to, get some insight from, their tone and their reply has a different feeling to it. Even when I've gone as far as saying, Andrew Wilson can't have the same thing happen again. And they hit you with yeah, he knows. Word? Like that's a different response than just, yeah, man, Slim, yeah, you're right, man. No. Again, guys, this is gonna sound funny, but I'm a professional with reading between the lines. That's just who I've always been as a person, even before gaming. Like ain't a whole lot you can sneak past. I know when you're trying to say something, you just can't say something because you don't want me to say something and blah blah blah. I know. So the way you respond to me tells me a lot, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Y'all don't believe me? How about this? Y'all remember when I was saying, don't expect no changes to franchise? Y'all remember that? Told you. And then it wasn't because I knew nothing. I just know how to read stuff, man. Listen, when I saw that blog, that's all I needed to know. The first one. Remember the very first one? That little simple wording of, we're going to talk about gameplay features and franchise. And what did they talk about? Face of the franchise. There was no mention of franchise mode, period. And I said then, y'all remember? Bruh, don't expect no changes. I'm going to tell you right now, don't expect them. That right there told me all I needed to know, because you're not putting out a blog like that in what you deem to be franchise. You were really talking about, come on, man, we can read between all that. But anyway, I went off on a tangent. Last thing we'll talk about, man, and I guess we'll wrap up. These abilities, guys, I didn't read them all. Smitty, by the way, check and see if that works. So at least we'll know that it works.
Okay. All right.
For, going forward.
Snap. No, I can't. My missus got my phone for the baby. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we'll let y'all in on a little secret. We had planned to take calls tonight, and we just want to make sure it works properly before we do it. Long story, very, very, very quick. Some of the people in here watch me do the Steelers thing, so they'll know what I'm about to say. Blog Talk Radio sometimes acts a fool. Sometimes people can call in. They can't hear me in the phone, but they can hear me in stream, but we can hear them. Other times, some people, it won't even allow them to call in. Like, my buddy Kenyon, sometimes I have him come on, and, he's like the scout. He tells us about certain players. It won't let him dial in for whatever reason, but I have callers that can dial in. Figure that one out. So what I'm going to try to do, we want to make sure it works. Maybe, if it doesn't work via phone for Smitty, maybe me and him both can do a direct dial in. That's what I love about Blog Talk. You can do a direct dial in with the mic. You don't necessarily have to use the phone, and we'll both be listed as hosts, because we definitely want to get that show popping. I just don't want to advertise it. All right, guys, you can call in, and then it don't work. I don't want to do that. So we're going to try to test it. If Smitty gets a chance to just call the line before, we get off, we'll test it. If not, we'll test it, man. But once we get it going, we want to have a show where it's just y'all calling. We ain't really got no topic. We just say, yo, what y'all got? Call. But anyway, let me say this really quick, man, before we wrap up and get Smitty's take. Here's how I feel about abilities in general, because I did peek and I saw some that they're outlandish. You guys that follow me on Twitter may have seen my tweet to the Madden team, and I said, listen, there should be no guarantees with anything. I don't care if you in the zone or not. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care if you in the zone or not. There should be no guarantees. Physics should drive every single thing that happens on the football field. Case in point, you have a guy that is a secure ball carrier. Let's say Le'Veon Bell when he was with Pittsburgh, right? There was a time when they would say, yo, he don't really fumble. He didn't. He had some later on, but he didn't fumble much. But that doesn't mean that he can't. There's no such thing as being in the zone and you can't fumble the football. What? What? Huh? How? And see, that's how the arcadey aspect sneaks into Madden, right? And that's how you satisfy both crowds, if you will, right? Because what you do, again, I know this comes directly from marketing. What you do is you entertain the ability aspect, which has a sim component to it, meaning it's like badges in 2K. It's allowing players to feel different. Remember last year when they first introduced them, we was like, oh, that's kind of, yeah, only Mahomes can do that. Oh, yeah, only this guy. But the problem is when you have these absolutes, there should be no such thing as that. I don't care if this guy is in the zone and his ability is that he doesn't fumble. If he is hit the right way, if somebody's arm hits the ball, if their helmet brushes the ball should be able to be jarred loose. Period. I don't care if you in a zone or not. And that's the problem I have with abilities. So on the record, before I throw it to Smitty, I've loved the idea of having the abilities even when they were introduced last year, because we've been sitting here saying we need players to feel different or at least behave different. This was a way for them to do it. Follows their same format that they did with weapons in Madden 08. Follows the same format as 2K's badges and other games that have quirks and things like MLB. But where you mess up is your gameplay doesn't fundamentally support every one of these abilities. That right. In the zone thing, man. Now I get it. It's like somebody, like NBA Jam. He's heating. I get it. When you hot and a quarterback is hot, that does happen. We seen Brady do that. He ain't throwing no pick because he reading everything. Wham, wham, wham. Or Aaron Rodgers. I get that. But I'm talking about those ones like he can't fumble. Man.
Yeah.
That's where you lose me. And why? Yeah. Why would you do that? Nothing about that is, that's what I was saying, Smitty, when you stepped away. That's where they merge a simulation aspect with an arcade aspect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because then you get your casuals. I'm just going to get my guy in the zone and he can't be stopped.
Right.
See, and that's where they mess up. Just make this game represent fundamental football. You can have the abilities and everything, but as long as everything around it still applies, even if he's in the zone, we're all happy. Just give us fundamental football, man.
Fundamentals.
That's it.
That's all you gotta do is just give the game. If you give the game, look, why do you think, I know the game wasn't promoted heavy back then and it didn't have the NFL licensing, but why do you think Backbreaker was so revolutionary?
Yeah.
It wasn't because, oh, look, guys, it's another football game beside Madden. No, it was the physics. Like when that Backbreaker demo came out, like, when you logged into YouTube, they will show you recommended videos, all that stuff. I remember seeing the first video I saw, like, because I know the demo had came out, but I was at work. And I was on the work computer, like taking a look at YouTube and everything. And it was like, I pulled up YouTube. the channel I saw, and I know, dude, he ain't doing YouTube no more, but True Blue Titan, his channel came up and it shown his video without me even signing in. So it was like, oh snap. So Backbreaker, dang, there must be a lot of videos up because how Backbreaker is like legitimately on the front end. And to see that, so, and I mean so many clips, me, Sim, versus everyone, Neff, the bonus man, all them race sports guys, all them everybody were posting Backbreaker clips, and none of us had the same gameplay. None of us did. Yo, look at these unique physics. Look at this. Look at that. Look at the I've seen people have catches I never had happen. Never. I've seen plays happen that I never seen before. Never seen. And it was because of the way the physics were done in the game. It was organic. True Sim Gamer, he was tight with the devs and everything because he was talking to them a lot. They told him about Backbreaker 2 stuff that they already had in the
don't remind me, Smitty.
So you know what I'm saying?
I won't even tell people what they had planned, man.
They stuff that we was complaining about in the first one already fixed. Already. And I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like, y'all gotta do it.
It was almost like they was like, oh, y'all like simulation. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's literally how they were. Like, okay. We were kind of trying both art or mix, but that's what the people want. All right, we got you. That's more or less how it was with them.
That's what I'm saying. Like we like that was revolutionary though. You seen players reach out for the extra yards. It wasn't something that Madden just now added.
And fumble, by the way, if they got hit. If they brushed by that ball, she was coming out of there.
And it was organic. Ball was squared out. Helmet hits the ball. I think I had a video showcasing that. Like, helmet hit the ball. Dude had it in his arm and everything. And it was like how the contact was made is how the ball got jarred loose. That's why the closest thing to seeing something where a player is hot or in the zone, whatever, is in 2K. Because in NBA 2K, you could be in takeover. Dudes could steal the ball from you.
Yep.
Your shot, your dunk can still be blocked. You know what I'm saying? If you're look, just because if you get into takeover mode with Isaiah Thomas, he's not all of a sudden going to be able to back down Shaq, and he's not going to all of a sudden be bodying.
Right.
He's not going to be bodying Giannis. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like that's not going to happen just because. You know what I'm saying? You still have to play within the realistic realm, respectively, of basketball. And you got to also be mindful of the player that you have and who it is and what he's capable of in principle. Madden, that all goes out the window. It don't matter if you got secure, whatever. If you secure the ball, if you say your running back is going to be conservative, you can set it to conservative with your running back. You can secure the ball, everything. I get in the zone with Avalanche, you're losing it. That's dumb. That's dumb. I'm sorry. What if I decide to show blitz and I'm going to take, because that's basically a safety thing or something, or a secondary thing. What if I decide to show blitz and bring them all the way up to the front of the line? I'll shoot in the backfield, boom, and I blow you up. That's cheese. And it should all be, like I said on Twitter about it, and like what Sim said, it should be based off of the physicality. Where did I hit you at? How did I hit you? Did I hit the ball? No, you just tripped my man's leg up. Oh, well, you're about to fumble. Why? It ain't raining outside. It ain't nothing. Like, what's the logical reason for me to fumble the ball? Because your guy's in the zone. I don't even care he's hot. Why am I losing the ball? I don't care if so and so's in the zone. Look. It doesn't matter if your DB is in the zone. If I have a great route running wide out, see, that's what I'm saying. There's no chess match to that. Chad Johnson posted a clip where he was being funny, but he was talking about, I've been showcasing social distancing on the field, for years when I was playing in the league, and here's some clips. And he showcased instances where he created some real good separation off of the route running. Dude runs this way. Oh, he's trying. I don't see you don't see no one in the secondary try to anticipate movement and lose. Everything it's scripted. Scripted route running. Oh, this guy just makes his cut a little faster. So what? Oh, this guy can get in and out of that route faster. So what? How are you manipulating the defense to get open? Wouldn't that be sweet to see that? Where players are actually aware of each other and, I'm going to get open. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go bow, boom, boom.
Man, come on now.
I'm going to purposely, I'm running a 10-yard out route, but I'm going to make you think that I'm going in and then go out. I'm going to run toward you, go, do, boom, and then go out. Like, wouldn't it be sweet to see guys actually just give us variance in terms of when they run their routes instead of just the same old, just run straight, here we go. Run straight, here we go. Slant. Oh, have a little jostle, run to the come on.
Yeah.
Do something extra than that. That's why people reference all pro football. You see defender tries to jam. It's a two-man anthem, but he gets stiff armed by the offensive guy. They just knock him down and then run. And then he gets up and tries to recover. Like stuff like that. You don't see there's no variance. EA could have had variations where DB tries to jam and he lets him pull. He goes along with it, pulls him forward, and then just sprints off. Like, there's stuff that they could do, man. And that's the kind of stuff we see. This has been happening in the NFL for ages. So this is not like new feature. Yeah, wouldn't it be cool to have? Yeah. Wouldn't it add another layer to the game? Yeah. But I'm not. It's just like I said earlier. It's not impressive because of the way the game plays. And I know we got to wrap it up because it's 10 o'clock. But I'm just saying that, like you've heard me and Sim preach over and over and over again. And I mean, look, like I said, when that NBA 2K comes out, when we start seeing news about that NBA 2K21, and I'm talking about the next gen, let me see organic gameplay. Let me hear them talk about, if I see anything or hear anything about how they got real-time physics on everybody and the gameplay is organic like that and everything, man, I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah.
It's man, EA, what y'all doing? Oh, y'all still just ported over what you did and smoothed it out a little. Man, y'all got it. You know what I'm saying? I'm done. Like, get out of here, man. I'm done, man. I'm done. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It has to be better. So
it has to, man. And the sad truth is one or two things I'll say really quick. Try to walk that line without going too crazy. Remember I told y'all that there's things that devs have actually told me behind the scenes that it just can't happen until things are redone, reworked, rebuilt. I'm not going to go as far as saying what those things are because, again, it's still a conversation that was offline, but I know that to be true, right? One thing I'm sure I could say, and it's not a big deal, I won't give the year or anything like that, but I'm sure Smitty remembers this. Reason why I definitely believe that, because there was a time where we used to say, man, why y'all don't just turn physics on at all time? We were actually told at some point, oh, we tried it, but it didn't work. same thing. Remember Smitty when we was like, yo, real player motion or just player movement in general need to be on everybody, not just the control player. It needs to be. There was a time when they tried to do that, even defensively. Didn't work out.
Yeah.
Y'all never saw it, but then I remembered later hearing some things we can't do the way the current game is constructed. Don't misconstrue that from me saying they can't do. I didn't say that. It's not a talent thing. It's because of the way the game is currently constructed. Remember when Rex Dixon was there, he always said, man, there's a ton of old code that just needs to be ripped up. He said this. Had Ben told Smitty and I that, but he said it in public. Then remember what he told y'all that publicly? He, campaigned, listen, why don't we just fix? We need to go in and rip out, fix, read. And what did he tell y'all? The bosses looked at him like this. Man, you don't get out of here. You crazy. We can't sell that. Y'all remember? Listen, this ain't even my words. Y'all heard Rex say that. They looked at him with the lips up like, bruh, if you get out of my office with that, we can't sell that. So this is, again, why I believe, I'm going to walk on this ledge before we get out of there. It's a copycat league, folks. 2K is saying that it's built from the ground up. You think the people in the industry ain't hear this? Do you think for one moment that information isn't shared and like as far as somebody saying something? That's how it always works. Remember when there was games, a lot of games that had 2 or 3 of the same game, and it was some of the same features would show up? Look at your cell phones. Look at cars. It's like, oh, all of a sudden everybody EA know. They know when you're on that level, they generally know what's going on in the industry. That's just how things work. So my guess is they may be doing something similar because they know they can't fall on their face again. The community is woke, right? We showed that with the fixed Madden franchise. Now, it's not to say that they're going to do that just because we did that, because obviously they're already working on the game for next level, clearly. But I'm telling you, I think as much as y'all have heard me say we don't have a huge voice, I'm changing my tone a little bit with that. Because even if it was just to save face, you got them to say something. Somebody, and I have also heard from other people, oh, they know. Believe me, all the way up the chain, they know what's happening and what's going on with the trending number. Trying to reconnect. Okay, I think we're back.
It still says live, and like I see it live. It still shows live. So
think of all the animations we see in Madden right now, even off the line and the pre-canned shuffle of the feet and rip. Just imagine if all of that stuff incorporated physics. Everything. That, trenches, and even the 2-man anims. Imagine if they had the 2-man animation still there or toned down like they do in 21 current gen, but physics determines what actually happens. So what I mean by that is you would have physics is turned on. So if somebody else intervenes, boom, that breaks up the 2-man. Or remember when they used to always advertise branching technology where you can branch out of animations? So if you had that and physics, this game would be playing way better, even with the 2-man sequences, because you would have the ability to break them. And it's like, if you just, like y'all told us, like I've heard, one of my own ears have heard it, some things we just can't do until we rebuild it. Okay, here's your chance. And don't go doing like what you did with Madden 06 and try to recreate the wheel.
Yeah, no.
You better have learned your lesson, and you've been actively building this thing on the side, which I think is very reasonable, because I used to be the one that would say that's impossible. But if 2K's doing it, if what they're telling us is true, now we're giving them the benefit of the doubt, which they've earned. if what they're saying is true, that it's built from the ground up, no reason why EA couldn't do it. No reason.
Yeah.
And here's another linkage, Smitty. We know that the Madden team and the FIFA team has worked together slightly before. Could that be something that they've been doing?
It could. It's possible. You know, they could have been working internally.
Maybe,
Like-
guys, but we're not. Listen, even though I said
Like-
I'm walking on that ledge, I'm not believing any of this. I'm just saying it just to quote unquote be right if it happens. I could be like, I told y'all. But my heart is telling me, you still got to show me. I'm just saying it's possible because they know they fell on their face with Ignite, and they know they sold us a pipe dream. Andrew Wilson cannot afford another one of those. From what I've heard, that they are aware of this. And also, it's a copycat league. All of these reasons make me think that it's possible. But we still got to see it. That's the bottom line. And if it don't happen, I am going ham. That show will be the best one yet. And I hope we never have to do that show. We shall see, like they say.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Y'all know the routine. It's time for us to go. Smitty, anything you want to say before we dip out?
No, not really. Other than, you know, of course, like always, guys, we appreciate y'all, you know, coming through and hanging out here with us, and just, you know, like always, man, you guys drive the show. We would love to take phone calls, man. We definitely want to be able to do that.
It works. My lovely wife tried it. I texted her. She was actually in the queue for about a minute. So,
oh, okay, sweet.
So it should be. I mean, I know it works because I use it, but it's just some phone numbers don't work. So I'm assuming Smitty will be able to hop on, and we'll shoot for that next week, man. We no topic.
Right.
We'll just, hey, this is for the community. Yeah. Y'all call in. Be respectful of everybody's time, and we'll just let y'all get your thing off. Like, whatever y'all got to say. There it is.
So we'll do it. You know what I'm saying? We'd love to do it. That's what I'm saying. So hopefully we get to do that next week. That'll definitely be a lot of fun. But like always, you know, we appreciate all you guys, and just, you know, stay safe, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys on next week.
Absolutely. And just to respond to Official, what's up, man? I haven't seen that. I'm actually going to watch that later. But it was interesting. I read something that said that they're more or less doing like an update for this year, and then they plan to come through heavy.
Yeah, they're just doing a title update.
That's
for
what's
the game.
up, Piz.
I appreciate them saying that on the front end.
That's
saying
what's
what
up.
They're doing. Like, we're gonna do a title update, touch up some things on the game, give you guys a roster update, and then continue working. That's how you do it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Don't sell it as if you did something phenomenal.
So they're not going. There won't be an official game. Period.
Yeah,
they're not going to do like MLB did, where MLB came. They just came over. Remember when they came over to the PS? To one of them. Remember one of those? They didn't. To the one. It was either the Pro. It was something that they didn't. They didn't do anything that year. They just got over to the new system. You remember that? I don't think that was all the way back to PS4, was it? It might have been going to the Pro and the S version. It was something like that. It was one of those years that they didn't make any real changes. It was just, no. I might be wrong. No, MLB did that, but I know for sure FIFA did it when they went to Frostbite. I remember that. FIFA didn't make any changes that year.
Okay.
But I'm almost certain MLB did that too, man. The years run together. I just can't remember what year that was, but I'm almost certain that it wasn't any significant changes. I just don't remember what platform that was. It must have been, it was either going to the PS4 or going from the 4 to the PS4 Pro. It was something like that. Okay. I don't remember. But so I do, yeah. If they're not doing a game, period, great. because you're not even making anybody pay for a game. You're just updating what you have, and then come through next year. That's man.
I think no, I do think it's like a paid update
Uh,
for it. That's the thing. Like I think it is. I'm not for certain, but I mean, if this is it, because I'm looking at the trailer right now, and what's so this is the kind of stuff that makes you mad about Madden, but at the same time appreciate Pez and makes me wish that I was more into soccer like that. Because this trailer, they literally are showcasing footage of Messi, Ronaldo, and other like certain players in real life, and then those same moments recreated in terms of the game at the video game actually playing, and it's like it's nearly 1 to 1. And this is not next gen. That's the crazy part about it.
see,
It's not next gen. So it's like
oh man,
if these dudes are able to do it, yeah, see, it's okay. So it's a season update.
gotcha.
Season update. That's what it's called here. I'm just looking. Yeah. So that's what
And
it'll
see,
be.
this is another reason I'm gonna be so heavy on Madden about this next level. You ain't gotta come out. Y'all don't have to. Your game drops in August. You could very well say Madden Next Gen will be next year. Consoles came out too late. You don't have to make that leap, and that's why I'm on their head, man. Listen, they did it with 25. You didn't have to do that, and you're doing it again, and that's why I'm gonna be overly critical. Y'all have seen me tweet it. I forgot the last couple of days, but those have been my tweets pretty much every day. The fix Madden franchise, and then also next level better look next level. It better be next level, and it better not be the same game. I'm gonna keep tweeting that. They're gonna know that I got an issue if it's just a port over. Because you do not have to release the game then, because these consoles are not coming out at least holiday season. I would expect wouldn't be any
Yeah.
earlier than October, November, more than likely. You don't have to release. You're choosing to do so. So them games better be a different experience this year. And you build from there. I don't want to hear, well, we just got up. No, 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 no. And I know you're doing the whole entitlement thing. Cool. But it better be a different experience. And if it's not, yeah, you're going to hear from us. Y'all going to hear from us, Andrew Wilson. You're going to hear from me. I guarantee you that. So I'll leave it
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah. So yeah, they did basically, and just to let you guys know, if you even care to play Pez at all, they did a little touch up stuff gameplay wise, but it's more of they added in legendary players, and they did the update for the season. So Master League updates, player updates, team updates, stuff like that. So that's what you basically got out of it. And the thing is, you get the bonuses. The if you pay the money to get the extra stuff, that's basically gonna be for the quote unquote, well, the my club stuff or your ultimate team kind of stuff, like coins and cards you could get on loan and all that stuff. But if you just get the game straight, it's $30. It's $30 for what they're giving you. So you are getting an updated game. It's just not just a straight roster update and then you're done. But I mean, if my thing is, if this is what they choose to do, until in the meantime, that's not bad. I mean, especially they're giving you all the content that comes along with what should be happening during that season as well. So it's not just rosters and you're finished. But like I said, Sim, watch that trailer. When you watch that trailer and you see how they showing Messi, it's like showing Messi when he's in his earlier days and how that footage looked, the real life footage, and then they show the video game and how near 1 to 1 it is. on this generation. And then look at how Madden is and how nobody's replicated like nobody. That that's that's the killer part about it.
Yeah, man.
So
I keep saying last note, but this is literally the last and final
yeah,
note.
no, go ahead.
Y'all notice I don't really go back and forth with whether people think it's the devs or not. I just let everybody have their own opinion. But one thing that could kind of prove what we're saying, because I saw Sim Gamer said something about them scrapping the engine and Force Impact. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember how much better it appeared to be in terms of recognizing physics? Vic Lugo was one of the heads doing that. It was based off of weight, momentum, and muscle tension. And all of a sudden, it's gone. That's not a dev decision, people. I want you to think about that for a minute. That's not a development decision to take that out. Where it could be a development decision is, I know Rex one time said that it wasn't working quite where they wanted it to be. And this is more than likely what would have happened. They went to the higher ups and said, we got to spend some more time on this. We could really take this to the next level. And that's where the bosses would be like, no, we can't waste time on that. Scrap. That's usually how those things happen. So at that point, it could have been a dev decision to be like, we just got to let it go, man, because it ain't where we want it. I actually spoke to Vic Lugo not too long ago, like a couple weeks ago. And his exact words was, I don't know why they took that out. Those are his exact words. I said, yo, Vic, what happened? Man, I don't know. I was like, it was, because I sent him my video. Remember the video I showed y'all, one of the two with the hit? I was like, yo, Vic. He said, man, I don't know why they ever got rid of that. So that's all I'm saying, man. So, but again, I'm not here to make people feel or think a certain way. I'm just saying, we always just try to showcase you guys some of the things that we know happens in the building that we can point to and be like, nah, it ain't what you think. This is actually what happened. And Vic Lugo was definitely capable.
Oh, no question.
You know what I mean? So that's why, me personally, I'm a little defensive for, or protective, if you will, for the devs, because I know who's in that building, man. You know, the Vics when he was there, the Scants, you know, it's just the A-dubs of the world. It's like, y'all have no idea, man. Rod, you know, these people, y'all never, you know, my man, Rod, you know, like it's so many people there that y'all have. And franchise people, Moonlight Swami works there, man. Ain't nobody in the world gonna sit here and tell me that Swami don't know what should be in a franchise mode. Come on. So that's all. We out of here. Let me go upstairs with the family. Y'all be safe. Be good. I'm gonna keep saying it every week, whether you believe in this coronavirus, COVID-19 or not. I'm gonna say my piece. Just be smart. I'm not telling you to stay in the house. I'm not telling you to wear a mask. That ain't my place to do it. All I would say is just be smart. And even if you don't believe in it, just respect others. You know, sometimes it make other people feel safer when you have a mask on. It doesn't hurt anybody to have a mask on. I don't get it.
Right.
Don't hurt. So keep an eye on what's going on. I know some of the numbers could be fudged, but it is really happening. So just be safe, guys. Don't be silly. Protect yourselves. Stay healthy. And hopefully this thing will pass. But outside of that, y'all be good. Be safe. Have a good night. God bless. We'll catch y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.